Alright, trying to make a video here, but the environment outside is very toxic. It's also toxic at Goodwill. It's also toxic online. Jeff Wilson with his really super boring. I tried to watch that dumb investment, how to invest in sports cards, and it's just basically a bunch of general stuff that told nobody anything, and somebody likened it to an infomercial, and that's pretty much what it is. And I don't want to review that video. I don't want to tell you anything about it. You can watch it for yourself. It was absolutely useless piece of nothing. Just a fluff piece that, was promoting. Oh no, so by the way, shameless self-plug, he was mentioning something at 10% off of something, and that was just dumb. So I'll get into what came in the mail today. Troy Rudder has disappeared off of YouTube, but he's still there. He's still watching content, still being the ambassador of the sports card community. That's really what we need. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame if he isn't already, because TTM legend. He's written 3 or 4 books or something. He's probably writing a book right now. Toxic environment. How to turn gem mint. Troy, before I get into your package here, here's an idea. Taking it down to 11, from 10 to 11, and working your way down to a 6. Meaning that the 6 is the best possible, grade 6 is the best possible thing you can get, and forget about all this 9s and 10s and 11 garbage. And that's where a lot of my friends are. They're right at that 6 level. They're happy with whatever they can get for that particular level there. They don't need to go the 9 and 10 route, because 9s and 10s are basically throwing money away for other cards that they're going to want to buy next week. So Troy Rudder very kindly sent me this in a nice bubble mailer, protected these cards that are probably worth all of 75 cents total. But, and he gave me his fabulous Sharpie. Who Hall of Fame material gives you a Sharpie? TTMautograph.com. Troy Rudder, you improved the hobby I love. Troy Rudder. That's what we need to sing instead of Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I love. TTMautograph.com. And he was following one of my videos there and gave me some freaking Jim Poole cards. Who does that? I was going to send off Jim Poole TTM. I don't believe I have sent him off yet. So, you got it right there. So, Jim Poole right there, some sort of 91 Stadium Club or what have you. There's his rookie card, a pre-rookie card of him on Team USA. Sicko. And then we have Jimmy Poole, not to be confused with Jim Poole, same guy. He was on the Orioles. Well, Dodgers, Padres, and whatever. And then Bo Bichette on the Dodgers. And then we got Jimmy Poole on the Dodgers, and it's autographed. Amazing. For the 91, for the set in 3D. Amazing. All kinds of cool stuff. I won't talk about the note that he gave me, but I've only got 11 minutes to talk about. Went to the bins this morning, spent only $1.50, and I was shaking a purse because I was the first one to that bin. No one else was there. All this change fell out. It was really disgusting and gross, but I spent most of it. So I spent probably not even $1 at the bins, because half of that was from whatever it was, and I threw a lot of stuff back, but there's a couple interesting things I might try to buy later on if I can get back there and my friend has his truck. I was hoping he could haul something for me if it's still there, because it's kind of a cool item. I might be able to use that for some sort of video purposes or some sort of, it's kind of a cool prop. And nobody seemed to be looking at that. Hopefully it's still there. But anyway, I got a bunch of ties here. I'm not a tie person. Somehow I accidentally collected a bunch of ties, but we'll go into them in no particular order here. These are all from the 90s. Absolutely astounding. I was the only one in that bin. I decided to just, shop where people were not. And I'll explain why. This is a melted clock Salvador Dali tie. That's really, really cool. I'm not super familiar with Ralph Marlin, but I think I've heard that. Salvador Dali, Time Warp, 1994, Ralph Marlin and Company. Troy, do you wear ties? Because I don't know. Would you like a tie? Ralph Marlin. So 1994. And these ties are all from the 90s. Then I got this one, this Jerry Garcia tie. Absolutely astounding. This Jay Garcia tie. Hot for something. Or not for interesting. Not for resale. Huh. I didn't know if it says not for, that's interesting, not for resale. Was this a promotional tie? There's a gross blob on there, but it's got a bunch of weird psychedelic fish or something on there. Very bizarre. A dead fish or something like that. It looks like dead piranhas or something like that. The Grateful Dead and all that good stuff. So there's that one there. Then I got this really amazing rock and roll tie. It says Some Girls on here. I gotta look them up here. So that's very, very unusual. They all kind of look like Joker in a way. Very bizarre. But this is, I don't know if that's an Andy Warhol thing or what the deal is. But anyway, it's put out by RM Style, whatever that is. And it's copyright 1994 Promotour Productions under license of Brockham. Brockham did a bunch of rock stuff. They had the Brockham rock cards back in the 90s, I think. Very unusual. A lot of people thought that was an amazing grab. And like I said, I zigged when everybody zagged. Then I got this tie that was all in Cyrillic or whatever it is, or some sort of Russian hammer and sickle tie here. And just kind of frowned upon these days. But it's a Beatles tie, also from the 1991 or 1994. Apple Corporation Limited. Back in the USSR by the Beatles, released in 1968. It's a US-made tie. Absolutely cool. Amazing. Then one of the last things I grabbed here was this child's spur. Very, very vintage, old-time spur. It could be out of the 50s, or it could even be older than that. I know a lot of wear on it. A lot of old-time wear on it. Some guy, I think he was Mexican. He wanted to buy that. He held up two fingers like, you know, $2, and because I just thought it was cool. I thought it was really, really cool. There was only one of them, unfortunately. So what can you do? It's just pandemonium at the bins. But very, very quickly, what happened was that there was a cash drawer that came out. Somebody was grabbing a red radio flyer wagon. Because radio flyer wagons probably make them $20, you know, and they'll probably spend $5 on it. So it's a whopping $15 that they're going to make on that sort of thing. But I had my eyeball on this cash drawer here, so I figured they were going for that and I was going to grab the cash drawer. But the drawer itself slipped out of there, and this woman, I was holding onto the cash drawer. She grabbed onto the drawer and took the contents out, including a brand new $2 bill that was nice and crisp. And she said that's pretty much all I wanted out of it, and gave me back the rest of the thing. Well, how fair was that? It's absolutely ridiculous. They probably would have given me the cash drawer for $5, but I just threw it back in disgust because, not that I wanted anything out of it, but it was just the way she'd reacted. And, you know, one of those people that complains about everybody all day long, or there's broken glass in the bins, do this, do that. Everything is wrong. And then when push comes to shove, they're the first people to shove you out of the way, and then they can get away with it because, well, I'm 75 years old. Well, for 75 years old, you and your husband are pretty easy to. They're not pushovers. They can push anybody they want around, especially with their loud, obnoxious behavior sometimes. They're okay, but they just get on my nerves, and people like that make people not want to go to the bins. I met up with a couple other people that don't shop at the bins anymore because it was that toxic environment I was talking about here. The whole Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I love. I'm pretty good at that. I should have gotten a record deal. But I found this at the thrift store down the road, quite far down the road, called the Union Gospel Mission Thrift Store. I was the only person, except for one other person. There were only 2 people looking at DVDs and CDs. All the other thrift stores on the entire town are more for DVDs, but no one looks at DVDs even at $1 a piece. And these records were 99 cents or 95 cents, I don't remember. She charged me $1.95 for both items. Gallant Men, Stories of the American Adventure told by Senator Everett McKinley Dirksen. I have a postage stamp of Mr. Dirksen. He's wearing glasses in that picture, but anyway, I thought this was very unusual. Conceived and written by H. Paul Jeffers, original score composed and arranged by, conducted by John Kakavas. Maybe one of these days my uncle's favorite reviewer, I can't think of his name right now. There's a Classics Today reviewer. I can't think of his name right now. Hurwitz. Mr. Hurwitz, maybe he should review this this recording on Capitol. See what this Gallant Men of Senator Everett McKinley Dirksen is. Nobody was going to grab Pledge Allegiance, Epilogue, Story of the Flag, all that fun stuff. Good times. It's probably not on CD. Very, very cool. And then I grabbed this thing here. Very nice. Nebraska's Capital Masterpiece, the NET Collection. So this is a PBS thing out of Nebraska Educational Television. Very, very cool. Pay $1 for that. Don't go to Goodwill and pay $4 for it. Don't go to the bins and pay $2.29. That's just a rip-off here. So last but not least, we'll get into a couple other things here. We've got a few postcards here. Oh yes, there's Troy's ever popular blue tape that a lot of people are trying to get banned, so I don't know what that's all about here. We got 3 postcards here. One of them just slipped over on the side here. I can't find it, but you can't see what it is. Oh, here it is. It starts with M and ends in California. So maybe that's Medeline. I'm not Marlin. I'm not sure. It's somewhere in California. We'll figure that one out here. It's just a faded stamp there. That came from that junk lot that I shouldn't have used that one, but I just went ahead and did. But anyway, we have this women in the military service because I use whatever I can get. Obviously, I'm not going to send, you know, some sort of national park out of Colorado or Arizona and use that for California. But this is Rio Linda, California, so very nicely done there. Thank you, Rio Linda, for your autograph. Just kidding. And then we have Empire, California, and it got really beat up, but I don't really care at this point. And this is Luke Skywalker from Empire Strikes Back, just before he is about ready to slay Yoda. You know, and then Yoda grabs his food and tries to eat his food, and he gags and says, how do you get so big eating food of this kind, or something like that. There's a big kind of barcode looking scratch right there, so that is that one there, and that is very cool. That's pretty much what it is, but like I said, unfortunately it just seems to be toxic environment everywhere. And it was kind of fun to meet up with these guys. I don't know them that well, but one of them kind of got booted from Goodwill because Goodwill is, again, toxic environment, and he thought he could do something. I don't remember what happened, but misunderstandings usually what happened. It's a very loud environment. The decibel levels are crazy in there, so I understand what's going on. And the other guy just said, you know, it's bad for him because he doesn't want that bad behavior reflecting on his wife and family. And I understand that. He's a family man. Why should he put up with these people being, you know, complete idiots? They're selling for a couple bucks on Nextdoor app or eBay. So time is out for this video. I hope I got through everything, and thank you for watching.